What's up? It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's Friday, the 4th day of February 2022. It's 60 degrees and sunny with gale force winds here in Ventura. And it's the weekend before Super Bowl, which means we should start seeing some commercials pretty soon. Super Bowl, it's Rams versus the Bengals as things stand now. Yay, Rams, I guess, because I live in California. Or do I? But really, at this point, most of us, you people, don't watch the Super Bowl for the game. They watch it for the commercials, right? Anyways, it's Friday, so it's time for this week's editorial, where I spout off into my opinions and nonsense about stuff. There's a lot of different things I could address this week. Of course, the Potato John battle fiasco controversy and the horrible things that were said about my friends Grim Jim and Aaron the Pendantic. But, I could address it, but Grim Jim has already done a much better vlog addressing it. So I'd rather just not give any more attention to that potato than it already has been. We could talk about the whole immersion thing or the whole no, you're not a storyteller thing, because apparently that's a thing too. Again, no, you're not a storyteller. Yes, you are. Immersion. Yes. No. Or we could talk about this one, which has sort of been floating around. Do-overs. Apparently it's a new thing. Players want the ability to call a mulligan. Because 5e isn't safe enough. You now want, in addition to all the other changes that have been made to 5e to make you feel safer, the ability to call a mulligan and do over an encounter if it didn't go your way. And should that be allowed? Should you give the players the agency to say, no, this isn't going the way I wanted. I don't want to have that fumble. I don't want my character to be hurt, so I want to redo this scene. Well, okay. Does that mean the dungeon master gets the same ability to call do-overs as well? Oh no, you killed all my goblins and I didn't want you to, so I want to redo this scene. At which point, when does the endless parade of do-overs and mulligans end? You're playing Groundhog Day, the role-playing game. You're just going to keep redoing events over and over and over again till you come to a conclusion that everybody agrees upon. At which point, not only are you not playing D&D anymore, I don't really know what you're playing. If D&D is safe enough, Wizards of the Coast has spent the past 4 years literally rewriting the rules to make you feel safe playing D&D. Death is gone in D&D. Player agency is the number one thing. I mean, even a hold person and charm spells and stuff like that have been changed, so you at no point in time feel unsafe. So now why would you want a rule that says I can rewind things if it didn't go my way? It's like the combat wheelchair. I get the combat wheelchair because, well, if I'm the DM, does that mean my bad guys get the combat wheelchair? Because then, yes, I'm giving every one of my bad guys a combat wheelchair. I'm giving them all guns. And guess what? I have way more bad guys with way more combat wheelchairs than you do. But you wanted a combat wheelchair, so I get a combat wheelchair. If you want the ability to rewind an encounter, I get the ability to rewind an encounter. At which point, we're just playing the same encounter over and over and over again. At which point, why are we bothering playing? Don't waste my time to write up a game anymore. I'm just going to tell you how much experience points you get. You get to each pick one treasure. That's the game. Thanks. Great. Move on. If that's what people want, then don't play D&D. Don't really play anything. Now, there already are mechanics in 5e that let you technically rewrite the rules. There's advantage, there's disadvantage, there's inspiration, there's lucky, there's halfling luck, there's the divination magic user portents. There are multiple ways already that exist in Dungeons & Dragons core that let you have do-overs. Sure, they're limited in amount of times, but they can all be broken with the right builds. Plus, there's spells that let you basically get extra dice rolls or re-roll a dice roll or re-roll a save. There are sorcerer bloodlines and warlock patreons and magic user schools, both official and unofficial, that let you have the ability to reset things or reset a die roll or say, no, that didn't happen. No, shield spell literally lets you rewrite an event because it's a reaction spell. I got hit by an arrow. Reaction. Shield spell. My armor class just went up by 4. Does it still hit me? No. Okay, well then it didn't hit me. I just rewrote time. Which means there's one universe where the arrow did hit me and another universe where the arrow didn't hit me. So there's already rules in place to let you do do-overs, but that's not enough. You want to have a new ability to, if something doesn't go your way, do over. But since D&D is so safe right now, what is there to do over other than maybe it's the whole, pillars of social interaction, relationship, and non-combat conflict resolution rules that only existed as of Strixhaven and never existed before. Which is a whole separate topic because yes, they did. There literally is nothing new and original in Strixhaven. Get over it. Is that what it is? You want to have a do-over because you couldn't seduce that teacher? The social interaction situation didn't go your way? Because that seems to be the way Wizards of the Coast thinks people want D&D to go. And that seems to be what people think the 5e players want, whether they actually say they want or not. They want less combat and more soap opera. So the only reason I could think now you'd want a rule that lets you redo an encounter is because your social encounter didn't go your way. You didn't get the player agency you wanted. You felt disempowered and non-represented, so you wanted to have the DM rewrite the game. It's just like the safety tools. It's just like everything else. Rewrite the game so I get exactly what I want, exactly the way I want it. To which point, again, why are we playing? At which point, do I, the DM, get to do the exact same thing? I get to rewrite things? Yeah, you could introduce a magic item that lets you do it a certain amount of times. You could introduce a sorcerer's bloodline or a cleric Patreon or a warlock Patreon, or a wizard school of time magic. But really, if you just want to constantly reset things because it didn't go your way, that's not D&D. Now, if you just want time travel, there are games that let you do that. From a very little-known game called Borrowed Time to the Doctor Who role-playing game to GURPS Time Travel, there's tons of games that deal with time and rewinding time. If you just want to role-play a Groundhog Day campaign, sure, great. That's not D&D. That might be a D&D scenario, but that's not D&D. If you want to introduce a magic item that lets you do it like Girl in the Golden Walks, restart a scenario once per day or something, that would be a cool end game artifact. But no, you should not have the ability to rewind D&D. D&D is safe enough. There are already in mechanics for D&D to rewind time. Again, the shield spell literally lets you rewind time. The guidance spell literally lets you rewind time. I didn't make my skill roll. Guidance, I get to add a d4. I did make my skill roll. So why do you need this? If you just want to play social interaction pillars, great, wonderful. I encourage that. That's not Dungeons & Dragons. That's Blue Rose. That's Vampire the Masquerade. That's Amber Diceless. There are games that are all about that. There are also board games and social party games that are all about relationships and social interaction and non-combat conflict resolution and the pillars of social interaction, which were invented by Wizards of the Coast for Strixhaven and never existed before, except, again, Wizards of the Coast didn't invent that, and they've existed forever. So if all you want is relationship roleplay, play a game that's about a relationship roleplay game. If all you want is the ability to rewind time and have a Groundhog Day scenario campaign, great. Either make that a one-shot, make that like an end game magic item, or play a game that is actually built around that premise, like Borrowed Time, or Time Patrol, or Time Cops, or Time Corp, or Doctor Who, or any one of the millions of time travel role-playing games and time alternate games and alternate universe games. Play Feng Shui, or just write your own. But D&D, why Why do you need a rewind rule? Are you not safe enough? Anyways, that's my 2 cents for what it's worth. Again, I'm not going to talk about the Potato John battle bullshit because Grim Jim has already done a good enough job, and I'll post a link down below to Grim Jim's response to Potato John battle. I could talk about the "you're not a storyteller," the Immersion, or all the other bullshit that seems to be circling around this week, but this was the one that made me the most curious. Why do you feel the need to have this? Do you not, at this point in time in the game, have enough player agency? Literally, it is impossible for you to die, and really it's kind of impossible for you to be hurt at this point in D&D. So why do you now also need a rule that lets you rewind time? And if you get to rewind time, then I get to rewind time. Which point, I'm going to rewind time. I am your guide to all the gaming nonsense that is the OG GM. If you appreciate the words that are coming out of my mouth, let me know. If you don't appreciate them, let me know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs. I'm going to keep rewinding time till I get 1,000 subs, so you might as well subscribe. Because, yeah, if I get to rewind time, then you get to rewind time. And if you get to rewind time, I get to rewind time. And if I could turn back time, if I could walk away, if I could sing a song about time travel,